Hello, hello. How's it going, folks? Let me go to. Sorry about that. Wow, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot. So, lots of announcements to drip changes. I'm a little out of sorts. I've been debugging this morning, putting together an app for a client, and I'm kind of still in that mode. So, let me rewire my brain during the intro, because that's how long it'll take. And let's get to it. I have no idea why I snapped. That's for the end of the show. But before we even get started, welcome to this entertainment television. This is a show about fintech. We talk about fintech. We have different dApps that we frequent. Specifically, the one that truly brought me in was Drip, which brought me over to Elephant, which I left Elephant, waiting for Drip. So, regardless, anything that is said on the show is not financial advice. So, the big thing that we were talking about in the last show is deflationary tokens. And here it said a lot. If you go to CoinGecko and you look at Drip, it said it was a deflationary token. There are videos that aren't there anymore. AMAs where Forex did call it a deflationary token. So a lot of us were blind to the fact that it could inflate. We shouldn't have been. We should have been doing due diligence. It's not Forex's fault. It's my fault. Saw a lot of signs that it was inflationary, but didn't understand what was causing it. I thought it was just a little bit, happening, but I didn't realize. And then when I would look at the numbers, I couldn't understand the numbers. So it was kind of confusing. But what the new plans on Drip are to do are to burn it. Now, a lot of us thought DDD was a burning tool, but then Forex changed that. He thought it would make it better if it just did something else, and that didn't work. So we ended up, watching things just go away as we got that attack. So when you look at EM, or Elephant Money versus Drip, Drip only has like 15, I forget how many million it has, but it's going to have a lot more million, but it doesn't have the quadrillions that, I think it's 1 quadrillion that Elephant Money has. But the thing is, with everything that I'm saying going on with the dev for Drip, it's addressing the liquidity problem without adding a utility immediately. DDD, as we see, is not a utility to make it grow, but it could be used as that as you change it up. The thing was, he said it was going to be like 2 weeks, and that's Forex time. So I don't think it'll be 2 weeks. And after that 2 weeks, I think let's see, we're going to October, maybe before Thanksgiving. Maybe he'll make a change by then. But I think what he's going to do, because you got to remember, you got two kinds of devs, right? You have devs that take somebody else's stuff and then enhance it. Some of the greatest innovations from Japan have come from them taking things that we did and enhancing it, right? So I think it was called Bank Flow. That dApp had a problem. Forex worked with BB to enhance that so that it became the Drip that we knew and love. And then, I think Forex saw Animal Farm and knew the community with DeFi was a lot of retail people. So he didn't want to put the time into it, and he wanted to develop something else. And then he tried to move away, but his because of the hiccup and BB having things where he couldn't come back in, it just became more of a Forex show. And Forex knows how to architect; it's proven. Not sure about the dev part, so we're turning this over. I bring that up because he's turning it over to G string. That's what a dollar sign means in coding. So I thought it was funny. Everybody was calling him G dollar sign or G money, and it's like, yeah, I was calling him G string. But he is like a developer working for a boss. He doesn't own it. He's not the founder. So what happens with Elephant Money is bank teller can just go in and fix his stuff. He doesn't have to put somebody else on the task. Whether that was for Futures, Stampede, The Graveyard, Bertha, Trunk, all of that he did, he was the dev. And there's more power, I can tell you as a dev, if I'm writing my stuff versus putting it off to somebody else. As a matter of fact, my current client, when I was telling him about the work I was doing, he was like, what, are you hiring somebody else to do this? I was like, no, I'm going to do it myself. So, Forex, though, he has, I still think his baby's Animal Farm. And he really believes that, and I don't know, he really believes that that's going to be a thing. But I don't know, because with Elephant Money, you already have utility that's generating things. Like Animal Farm has 20x million? And Elephant Money has over 500 million and is growing, right? So 500 million, 22 million. I'd be happy with either if there was a dApp of mine that people invested 22 million. I just don't know what's going to happen with the Animal Farm side, because 2 weeks ago we heard that he was gone. Then we saw the REAP token dropped. Then he came back. I'm not saying that these are put together, but I'm just saying it would be hard to see that these things didn't fit all together. So I'm just worried that, once it gets started up again, he'll go, see, I told you it wasn't going to work. Because every dApp that we've seen, I forget the names of them all. There was the race car one. There was the one on AVAX. There were other clones of Drip. And they would kind of work until somebody changed something. Now with Elephant Money, when the exploit happened, he didn't change the code because the code was still working. Drip code still works. I think that we should build governance around having access to the faucet, but I don't think that we should change the original contract. Unfortunately, this is not a vote thing. And even if it was a vote thing, not everybody's a dev. Nope. Not everybody has my opinion, so they probably would say, leave it, let it go. But what we saw was when people voted to do things that would fundamentally change the contract, it lasted, and then it just fell off. So I'm leery of doing that. And if you think of it, we talked about yesterday Unity and the way they tried to change the contract retroactively. So people were going to owe them millions of dollars. They were going to be sued, and that wasn't going to be a thing. But a contract, in smart contracts, I like what BT did because he honored the original contract. But there are other places where he didn't, right? So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. You can trash anyone, but I'm just assessing where I'm comfortable. And I think I'm more comfortable with a dev that is updating their own code and is a true dev and an architect, not an architect and a dev, which Forex is. And Forex is architect, dev, and has charisma, a lot of it. So he can pull you in. Whereas, it's more facts with BT. So that's the deflationary thing. What else I got? Oh, yeah, I already talked about that. I looked today. It looks like fans of Forex are saying, all right, thanks for coming back to Drip. And so his REAP token went up a little bit. So I think that's a good sign. We talked about G Money and him being assigned the update to the Drip contract. And I think that's a lot to ask from him when he said that, hey, he was just basically doing UI, and he stepped up to help volunteer, and now he's a big time contributor. I don't doubt that his coding will be bad. You got Forex there to check it, so it's not going to go live unless it is vetted like super, super well. I just know when I was a fledgling developer 20 years ago, it just wasn't in my zone. It wasn't something I created, so you have to alter other people's stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If my dev is telling me 2 weeks, it's 2 months, right? If my dev is telling me I'll have it done today, it's more than likely a week away. So I manage devs, and I was a dev, or am a dev, but in corporate, I was a dev. So I know that when I would say, hey, I'm going to do something, you couldn't do it because other things come up, like status reports, stuff like that. I'm not worried about G Money trying to do $, but they do have a lot of meetings. Let me show you something here. I'm going to add this just so that we can look at something positive. As you can see, it's still in a tear. Now, I don't understand the business model behind what Drip is going to do in the future. But I'm a fan favorite of it, right? But if I was going to bring people in, if I was going to say, hey, great grandmama, give me your sock money, get something for you, I would put it in this. Drip is more than ever a high risk, high reward play right now. And the thing that I think of is the Seifu guys. If you're a Drip person who's just going, I believe, go take a look at those guys and look what they sound like on their old videos, because they didn't delete them, talking about that dude. I don't even want to say his name. And you'll see how, they seem to be caught in it'll work. But you can go, I think we've all been a part of any Telegram group where there's people who, the site is dead. It doesn't work anymore. And there are people like, it's gonna come back. You'll see. And when you have something like Elephant Money in front of you, and you see every day, where's this other thing? Let me go refresh this puppy. Oh, it was refreshed. And you can see that, oh, wow, it's down. Every day, it'll be back up in a sec, don't worry. Every day for ever, it's been going up. Let me go back over to here, show you guys what that looks like. Let me go here, do the day, my favorite view. Right? So remember, guys, last week we were here, right? I was hoping it was going to get over there during the show. It got about right there, but now look at it. And it's not just, because BT is awesome. That's the case, but he's awesome because of what he put in front of us. One sec, can't see. He's awesome because he has so many products that are working as a utility to foster the ecosystem. In Drip, we're just not there yet. And so while I live off of, small gigs now and doing, small developer gigs and other stuff, I need passive income. And yeah, I want Drip to succeed. I was in it. I could be so well off right now, but I believed in the Drip community. I'm doing a show every freaking week. I wasn't going to fleece everybody and start taking out just for me. I took out what I needed to live, and that was just it, because I believed that the system was going to last. Now the system's going to change, and had I been completely good, I would probably be screwed right now. And that's just the name of the game, blah, 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 blah. But, going back to contracts, going forward, you need to take a look at the contract and the dev to say, hey, what's their background? Do they change things? Now, Forex has never, I don't think he's really, no, that's not true. He's changed contracts several times, including the animal farm where he held it for months and people were so mad. He did the right thing when he thinks about it in his own head, but for people who just wanted their money, it was an FTX situation. They wanted to get their money out, but Forex was like, if I give you this money back, you won't have it because the bots will come in and take everything, so no. Now you have had people like Furio who said, catastrophic failure, but they did pay people back. You have Trunk that says, hey, if you lost, you're in a queue to get some level of your things back. But with Drip, we've got, a very cool guy in G Money, but he's working with somebody that we know consistently doesn't hit his dates, has left the project, come back, is approving a change for contracts. Again, not bad, just that's a lot to say in a risky venture like DeFi to go, what's 5 more risks, right? I have to look at it as a dev. And I just can't see myself going back home to Drip until she has a true utility and not something that just makes Drip more expensive. Because if Elephant Money did that, I don't know if I'd be okay with it. I don't think I would. Wait, where was I? Okay. DDD, talking about it. This is the part I'm actually excited about. I know Forex did a lot of work on that, and the guys who put it together, they did a lot of work on it too. I'm interested to see how this works with the new system, because the only thing that kind of keeps me a little bullish is the fact that DDD is there. Forex is going to integrate DDD into the new Drip whatever. And I think that could be a utility that we're using, but without the faucet. Because what he's trying to do now is he's like 2.5 years smarter about what bad guys do. He was smart when he stopped people from, going into the piggy bank thing, but now piggy bank is being retired. So those people are kind of upset. But I mean, everybody knew it was a risky venture. If you can see I'm hella 50-50, right? Because one, getting mad at anybody is ridiculous, but to me, but I won't trust Forex anymore, ever. But I will trust but verify his projects, because the security is there, and he did capture lightning in a bottle once, and he did it off of improving upon somebody else's product. So everything it looks like they're planning on doing, it sounds highly similar to Stampede, or the way that Bank Teller he's already made Drip 2.0. So if they're going to clone that and try to make that work, that would be great. But in that case, I would rather the 1% keep coming, right? Allow more tokens to be there. But, it's not up for a vote. It's still not a truly decentralized project yet, because nobody's voting. You kind of have a corporate feel. That's one of the things that got me into Forex. Like, his structure is highly corporate. His development, the way he talks. but his project management sucks. And so he knew that, and he tried to get project managers, but they didn't work out. And project management, if your project manager cannot work with your work style, it doesn't work. I don't care how good the project manager is. If their style doesn't work. And then you have to have a project manager that can work with devs. Devs are some of the best fibbers. They'll tell you, oh, I really wanted to get that out today, but the hypotenuse of the config file of the blah, blah, blah. And the project manager will go, oh, well, that sounds like it's bad. And so they'll believe stuff and push dates back, or they won't question people, or they'll just be disliked and be ignored. So it's a real hard job to get. And although corporate works, the corporate structure works, missing deadlines is not ever good. And that's the one where none of us, it's even a joke, Forex standard time. That's not funny. That's embarrassing, right? You don't hear about a movie studio saying, hey, I'm going to release a movie. We're going to push that back a few weeks. Now, software is not the same, but I think Forex and after DDD, we finally did something that I've been calling for 2 years. Don't tell dates. You don't tell dates. You don't say 2 weeks. You say it's coming out. Stick around or leave. Because if I tell you a date, I'm likely not going to hit that date, because so many things, like this app that I'm developing right now, the code is so simple, but the configurations, you got to get, I'm not going to go into it, but you just have to get so many configurations going. And then on top of the configurations, you have to remember all the different components that are working. Drip is highly complicated. It's got several apps and doesn't really have any devs that are truly there. If BB was there, like BT is there for elephant, I would be more confident, but he's not. So I'm being a lot more realistic. And the realistic stick beat me in the face, because DDD's results and the overall agony of knowing how much people didn't like us was such a surprise that I'm just dealing with facts now, and if I just kept my head on straight and hadn't been emotional, I would have been looking at elephant money this whole time. So I hope you do. Let's see. I already said that. Talked about that. We're looking at that. Yeah. So, when I take a look at what's our stance, what are we saying? The bottom line is they're both dApps. They're both ecosystems. One has Elephant Money has a anti-bad actor plugged into its code. Drip has an anti-bad actor programmed into its architect. I want it programmed into the code. But I believe that Forex can adopt and change, but his mannerisms in the missing and not telling the truth, that's a huge problem. But remember, one of the reasons that Forex got even more famous and got more loyalty is because he called out Bank Teller. He told him that exploit. That did hurt a lot of people. He told him that, hey, this is probably going to happen, and BT didn't fix it. And I believe he regrets that, but he did stay with his project. So the stance is still both, but it's more 80-20, Elephant Money, Drip. I hope that the video helped you, maybe speak to you. Hope it didn't cause any more confusion. And if you guys have one motto, just remember, Bertha doesn't care. Thank you for watching. And remember, game on.